He's a phantom.
Combo Breaker!
Demons, creatures of the night and feared by many. But our two fighters tonight have taken upon themselves to slay these beasts. So let's introduce today's fighters. The Slayer of Dracula, Simon Belmont, versus Spawn, leader of Hell's army. Let's see who would win in a battle to the death. Wow, the Belmonts have a really shitty job. Every generation has to slay Dracula and again and again. And there's that one time all his body parts got scattered all over the place and they had to go and destroy each part of his body. And you know what? Screw it. Let's just stay with the original Belmont and cover Simon Belmont in this part of the review, obviously, since he's going to be going against Spawn. Simon Belmont was raised hearing stories of his badass ancestors and how they whooped Dracula's pale ass. But Dracula is resurrected. Thus, Simon went to finish what his ancestors have started. Alright, so that was the short version of Simon Belmont's story because the full story is incredibly convoluted and complicated. And if I were to just do that story, it'd probably be the length of like 5 of these episodes. So let's get right into Simon Belmont's weapons and powers. Simon has superhuman physical characteristics and is a master in martial arts and armed combat. Simon also has a long list of magical abilities such as energy manipulation, holy magic, the ability to stop and slow the flow of time with his stopwatch, which he's also immune to all time manipulation. He can also manipulate fire and attack spiritual beings such as ghosts. Simon Belmont is immune to soul manipulation. He can warp reality, warp voids, and even resist mind manipulation. He can create illusions and manipulate dreams. Simon can also petrify opponents and manipulate blood and poison. Alright, so let's cover his weapons now. The Vampire Killer is Simon Belmont's signature weapon, and you guys may just know it as the whip. It can only be wielded by a Belmont. Anyone else slowly loses their life thanks to some weird-ass magic and Deus Ex Machina. The whip is both holy and vampiric, making it lethal to demonic beings. But the Vampire Killer is far from Simon's only weapon. Simon also carries multiple silver daggers, great for throwing and stabbing. He carries throwing axes that fly in an arc, perfect for taking out flying opponents. Simon's most useful weapon, at least in the games, is the cross, which he throws like a boomerang. Simon carries multiple bottles of holy water that he throws at his enemies to ignite them in a holy flame. Simon has a holy Bible that can create a shield around him. He wields a stopwatch that slows and stops time. Simon's sacred flame ignites foes and weakens demonic powers. Simon's armor boosts his holy magic, dark magic, as well as makes him resistant to poison, elemental attacks, petrification, curses, and blunt strikes and piercings. Also, it boosts his holy and demonic magic. Alright, so now that we've gone over his powers and weapons, let's see what he can do with these powers. Simon is at a multi-universal level of strength. I know that sounds ridiculous, but allow me to explain. As he's able to beat Dracula, Castlevania's Dracula, not real Dracula, who is stronger than Galamoth, who is strong enough to destroy 2 timelines at the same time, and Dracula's power alone holds together the 7 layers of hell. Simon is also massively faster than light, as he is able to dodge attacks from Dracula and keep up with him in combat, and Dracula can shoot and dodge at light speeds. Simon is able to take hits from Dracula, putting his durability at multi-universal level. And Simon Belmont also has superhuman stamina, and he's also incredibly intelligent, as he's been training his whole life to battle Dracula. However, Simon Belmont, if he gets 2 damage, the Vampire Killer will lose its power. Wow, Simon Belmont is way stronger than I thought, and honestly, it's ridiculous. I mean, just dear lord. So let's see if the Hellspawn himself can stand a chance against Simon Belmont. Spawn was just an ordinary man named Al Simmons, and was an assassin considered the best in the business and a highly trained soldier. Al started to question what was going on, and this was noticed by the higher-ups, and they sent Al's friend and partner to kill him in an inferno. Al made a deal to sell his soul to a demonic being known as Malebogia? I don't even know. Malebogia? I don't know. I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comments, and I will get horribly ridiculed for it. So to get to see his wife Wanda Fitzgerald once again, he was allowed to come back. However, he came back 5 years later and has some kind of strange hellspawn with no memory of what he had done. It was after this event that his demonic guide, the Violator, whom appeared as a clown, showed up. He revealed to Spawn the purpose of his life and fought him and fought him, but had his battle interrupted by again, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Now realizing his purpose, he must fight and survive against both the forces of heaven and hell. Alright, so let's just hop into what Spawn can do. And just like Simon Belmont and the episode before with Pac-Man, there's a lot of stuff, so strap in and please, for the love of God, I did my research, he actually does these things and it's ridiculous. Spawn has superhuman characteristics and can regenerate, and has the inability to die from natural causes, and he can't be killed by aging. He also can't be killed unless he's decapitated by a holy weapon. Spawn can manipulate necroenergy with the help of his symbiote suit. Spawn can warp reality and use magic to manipulate hellfire and whatnot. Spawn's suit allows him to react to incoming attacks Spider-Man style, and Spawn can teleport at faster than light speeds. Spawn can resurrect the dead and create illusions. Spawn can summon black holes, suppress demonic powers, summon demons and other hellish creatures. Spawn can also shapeshift, stop time, and manipulate his own size. Spawn can also phase and manipulate darkness. He has the ability to manipulate elements, nature, and even the weather. He can also fly, manipulate light, and has telepathy. Spawn is also skilled with multiple firearms, and his chains and his cape, which allow him to block incoming attacks and strike from far distances. Wow, Spawn has quite the arsenal of powers and weapons. So let's check out what Spawn's feats show he can do. See what he's capable of. Spawn has the strength to both overpower God and Satan of the Spawn universe, putting him easily at multi-universal level. Let me state that again. It's God and Satan in the Image Spawn universe. Don't get angry at me for saying something like that. Thanks to his teleportation, Spawn is faster than light. However, actual combat speed and movement speed is only hypersonic, as he can keep up with demons. Spawn can tank universal to multiple universal level attacks and live thanks to his healing factor and quote-unquote immortality he has. It's hard to put him down for good. Spawn has near unlimited stamina and is also incredibly smart, as he is a highly trained soldier and master assassin. However, Spawn can be killed only through decapitation by holy weapon. Alright, let me calculate the results and I'll be back. But you know what? I'm going to try something new this time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to narrate the battle. So, I hope you enjoy. Simon Belmont walks into the main corridor of Dracula's castle to see Dracula sitting on his throne. Ah, Mr. Belmont, I see you've arrived. Yes, and I will have no more of your dirty tricks, Dracula. A wormhole opens and Simon is sucked in and reappears in New York during a rainstorm. Damn you, Hellspawn! Where have you sent me? Lightning strikes at Simon, making him back up into an alleyway. Spawn appears in front of Simon. Ah, I see Dracula sent another Hellspawn to kill me. Simon goes to punch Spawn. Spawn dodges and grabs him and throws him against a wall. Simon tries to get up. Spawn shoots a green energy blast at Simon as he tries to get up. Simon pulls out a Bible and creates a barrier that blocks the blast. Simon runs up and tries to punch Spawn, but he vanishes and a whip goes through the illusion and hits Spawn. Spawn stumbles back in pain. Spawn shoots out multiple chains at Simon. The chains fly at Simon, who then cuts them into scraps using his whip. Spawn teleports in front of Simon and kicks Simon to the ground. Spawn walks over and points a shotgun to Simon's head. Spawn pulls the trigger only to have the bullets blocked by Simon's Bible barrier. Spawn flies up and pulls out an SMG. As soon as Spawn can take aim, Simon throws an axe at him. Spawn blocks the axe with his cape, but fails to block Simon's spinning cross and gets knocked out of the sky. Spawn falls to the ground only to be hit by a dagger mid-fall and gets pinned to the wall. Simon walks towards him ready to kill Spawn. Spawn pulls out the dagger and slashes at Simon. Simon gets slashed on the arm and starts bleeding profusely. Spawn summons a large demon from hell. Simon reaches for his belt and pulls out a clock, opening it, slowing time to a crawl. Simon ignites a holy flame under the creature and closes his clock. Time goes back to normal and the demon starts burning as Simon whips it repeatedly until it collapses and dies. The creature disintegrates to dust. Spawn slows time and runs at Simon, who seems to be unaffected by the change in time. Spawn grabs him by the neck and pins him to the wall and starts choking him and stabbing him with blades protruding from his suit. Simon struggles to reach for a bottle of holy water. Simon finally grabs the bottle and smashes over Spawn's head, causing Spawn to burst into holy flames. He drops Simon, who runs over and stabs Spawn multiple times with the dagger. Spawn causes a storm to rage on as lightning strikes down in front of Simon as the dagger hits the ground and Spawn is gone. Simon looks around and can't see Spawn anywhere. Spawn sits on the rooftop and shoots a sniper round down at Simon. Simon gets shot in the rib. Simon turns and looks and sees Spawn on the roof. Simon throws a battle axe upwards towards Spawn and then uses his whip to grab onto it and pull himself up midair. Simon lands on the roof bleeding and sees Spawn standing there holding a sniper rifle. Spawn shoots a green energy to orbit Simon. Simon throws a dagger and they collide in midair, causing the dagger to disintegrate. Spawn uses his chains to hit Simon. Simon pulls out the Bible and blocks the chains and walks towards Spawn with blood flowing down from his body. He puts down the barrier and punches Spawn in the face. Spawn goes to put up his cape, but Simon rips it to shreds with his whip. Spawn goes to teleport, but Simon stabs his dagger into Spawn, stopping him. Simon smashes a bottle of holy water on Spawn's head as Spawn starts burning in a holy flame. Simon wraps his whip around Spawn's neck and starts choking him. Spawn, in a last-ditch effort to retaliate, protrudes blades from all parts of his body, trying to impale Simon. Simon gets stabbed multiple times and starts bleeding. Simon then decides to pull on the whip as hard as he can, tearing Spawn's head off. Simon walks away, bleeding profusely, triumphantly. Alright, the results are in. Well, really, you kind of just witnessed the battle, or rather, heard it audiobook style. Our winner is Simon Belmont. Alright, so this battle really shouldn't have been a surprise. Really should have been obvious by the end of Simon Belmont's review, but I guess I should probably explain before the angry mobs come after me for killing Spawn. So let's start off with strength. They are both about even being able to overpower demonic beings such as Castlevania's Dracula and Image Satan. So that's really a wash, but you know, it's not too big of a deal here, because here's why Simon really wins. So speed-wise, Simon stomps for multiple reasons. For one, Simon's faster than light with his Dracula feats, and Spawn is only hypersonic and can only hit light speed with teleportation. And even though Spawn can mess with time, so can Simon. And not to mention, Simon's immune to the time manipulation, so Spawn has no way around Simon's big speed edge. Now, Spawn and Simon would be tied in durability, but Simon takes the lead due to his armor that gives him resistance to elements, stabs, blunt attacks, poison, and enhances the strength for his magic. So yeah, Spawn can heal, but you can only heal from non-lethal strikes. So really, the durability is even until you take into account their special durability powers. Spawn does take the stamina with his unlimited stamina, whereas Simon is just above human. So in a long-term fight, Spawn would stay at his peak and Simon would not. But really, it doesn't take that long for Simon to put Spawn down. Intelligence-wise, they are both about even with being highly trained warriors. But I have to give the edge to Simon in this battle since Spawn is a demon and that's what he's trained his whole life to fight. Finally, Simon's arsenal is almost all holy weapons meant for slaying demonic enemies. And Spawn is weak to holy weapons, so really, it's just kind of an unwinnable match for Spawn, unless he can manage to stay away from Simon for an outrageous amount of time, which I don't think he has the speed to do. So, our winner is Simon Belmont.
Next time on Combo Breaker. Why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face.
Pennywise vs. the Joker.